Welcome back, everyone. I'm a lady of Westeros, and tonight we will be doing something a little bit different. We will be discussing George R. Martin's little drama on his Not a Blog web post, and how his outburst cut the fans deeper than the wait for Winds of Winter ever did. So, we're just going to dive right into the nitty gritty of it all and get into how George made his most recent blog post that he quickly deleted because it obviously rustled some feathers amongst HBO, the creators of the show, and the fans. He was talking about his displeasure about where House of the Dragon is headed next season, his displeasure about where season two went and the butterfly effect from not including some characters, changing things up for other characters, and it creates the butterfly effect. And I get it, but George just totally stirred the pot. Fans have been divided for a long time on Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, all of it. There's those that love it, eh, those that hate it. Why do you watch it if you hate it? But there are those, and George just got in there and stirred that pot with his big stick, got the stuff stirred, and it was not good. And I think for a lot of fans, he kind of crossed the line. He went just a little too far in the grand scheme of everything. He did not just rant about his displeasure of the seasons, where they're going, how Ryan Condal is handling things, how HBO is handling things, but he gave away spoilers. And I think that for me, dude, why? Why'd you do that? Look, I get it. George R. R. Martin has poured his heart, his soul, sweat, blood, and tears have gone into the creation of A Song of Ice and Fire and the entire universe that is it's made up of. These characters, this world, it is his baby. He loves it just like we love it, okay? And so I understand seeing your creation put in the hands of others, especially when it doesn't exactly go the way that you envisioned it to go. It has to be frustrating. Understand that, 100%. But we all see how he felt about the final season of Game of Thrones, and how with the House of the Dragon, it seems that tensions are still rising amongst HBO and Martin. Especially now, it seems like with Ryan Condal, the showrunner, which is unexpected. I thought they was friends. I thought they was on good talking terms. We're going to create something good together. But he also has to remember how Game of Thrones went. It did not go according to your plan, dude. And you can't just get upset when you already have done this once before. And come on, you've been there, done that. You should have known that changes would happen. That it wouldn't be your baby anymore. Okay, it just isn't. But here's the thing. Here's the thing for me. Martin sold the rights to HBO. And just like Game of Thrones, HBO is doing their version of this series, of these books, of this world, this character that he has created. It is their own fan fiction of sorts. Okay, it's you handed it to a over to a guy that loved your stuff, that was a big fan, Ryan Gondal. Oh my God, love it. I love it. He's like, yay. He's creating his fan fiction of it. And it may not match up with what you want, Martin. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all the book fans. I'm a book fan. I have the books. I've read the books. I love the books. Game of Thrones ending. It killed me because it's like, but in the book, but in the book, you have to let that go if you're going to enjoy this version. It is a version. It is not boom and boom, the exact same. It's just not. Never will be. No creation that has ever been done, no adaptation gone from book to movie or TV show or whatever miniseries. Back in the day, we had miniseries. Okay, some of you young folks. Okay, Rose Red was a great one, but it's not the exact same. It'd be like Stephen King getting totally mad because it didn't look like he envisioned. Dude, you let them create it. It is their version. Unless you are totally up in there, it's going to be different. And it just is. It's out of your hands at that point. And so, whether George likes it or not, whether some of us like it or not, Nettles, where's Nettles? Have you seen Nettles? I haven't seen Nettles, but I'm trying to let it go. That is the book. This is the show. And he has to deal with it. It is just what happens when you deal with major studios. So, Martin dropping spoilers about the upcoming season, for me, as well as I think many other fans at this point, that's where the real problem begins because we are the ones that are caught in the crossfire. Okay, as a fan of the books and this show, um, I've had my moment of cringe from Game of Thrones on. Okay, I've been a fan forever. Before Game of Thrones was cool, I was like, man, you guys got to try this show. It's got these dragons and you crazy. You don't want to watch no dragons. Game of Thrones is awesome. I was there from the beginning. Okay, I read the books, I watched the show, I watched all the YouTube videos and tried to make my own thoughts and theories and waited to see if they came to fruit and if it happened the way I thought that it would. Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't, sometimes again, ooh. Okay, Massaria Rhaenyra, really, what the heck? I didn't need to see Kristen Cole and Allison in the game and the House of the Dragon. Um, okay, Aemon. Okay, it was cool when he was like just curled up with the older lady in the brothel, but the whole stand up frontal. Oh my god, was not expecting that. Again, a few cringes, and then where's Nettles again? I'm not. I don't want Raina to be Nettles. Okay, that would really annoy me. But again, I can't let that ruin my enjoyment of the show, my love of Westeros. And Martin, by leaking leaking what is potentially going to happen, I'm not getting into it. I don't want to spoil potentials on all that, okay? But him leaking that information, again, you really didn't hurt HBO. You didn't hurt Ryan Condal, okay? You may have like hurt a little ego or something for somebody, maybe, but you hurt the fans, Martin, okay? The loyal fans that, again, have been there from the beginning, okay? Like I said, I love House of the Dragon. I love Game of Thrones. I love Westeros. I enjoy it. And yes, cringe as sometimes as the characters and storylines get changed, the butterfly effect is real. I get it. But we've been here before. Okay, again, Game of Thrones. We all have done this. We know there are going to be differences. It is a adaptation. It is never going to be a picture perfect one to one copy of the book. Where would be the fun of that really anyway? Again, I've read them. I know what's coming for these characters. It's fire and blood, baby. But I'm excited to see how it plays out in live action, and if it's not totally what is on the in the books isn't the same as what's on the show, fine. I enjoy Westeros. I love Westeros. I am waiting for Winds of Winter and these shows, from Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. I'm looking forward to Dunk and Egg. I do not know Dunk and Egg very well. I'm just now starting to read in those. Okay, it's hard as a mom that I have a son, two older ladies that live with me, my mother and mother-in-law. I have goats, chickens, okay, a husband. My time is consumed quite often by just life. I don't have a lot of time to read, but I'm getting into Dunk and Egg, and it's been a nice little tidbit, some crumbs, some, as I wait for Winds of Winter. George. Okay, so as he fusses and complains, we are still waiting. His loyal fans, the ones that his comments, his little rant, his tantrum actually hurt, that actually took things from us. Not so much HBO, Ryan Condal. They're going to create the next season. They're going to make their money. They're going to do what they do. But you ruined some stuff for us, George, and that's where I think it's messed up. So again, it is important for us, as well as I think Martin, to remember that when it comes to book adaptations for TV, for movies, that changes are inevitable. Look at True Blood, HBO's big hit there. Um, I was, again, I haven't read a lot. I'm not like a major bookworm, not as much as I used to be. But when I was able to read, I did enjoy the Sookie Stockhouse novels. So when I found out that HBO was doing a TV show about Sookie, I lost my mind. I was so excited. I'd even had my husband read a couple of these books because it's like, this is really good stuff. It had Elvis in it, okay, but call him Bubba. Don't call him Elvis. Call him Bubba, and keep your cats at bay, okay? He likes kitty cat. It was a great series. I loved that series. I loved those characters. And then True Blood came out, and sorry, my dog just kicked me. But then True Blood came out, and I sat just okay with what I saw. It was not quite like the books, but I did to an extent enjoy that show. It was a little bit much for me, but they changed from the books to from being Sookie to being Sookie. Okay, Sookie. It's what happens, and you can't let that like upset you because or get annoyed with HBO. George getting annoyed with HBO when you sold the rights. You let them, just like Charlene Harrison of the Sookie Stockhouse. You sold the rights, and now you get HBO's version of that show. And Martin, he made the same choice when he sold The Song of Ice and Fire to HBO and said, yeah, let's make some stuff, okay? And now we're getting HBO's version of House of the Dragon. And we might not love every decision, everything that happens, every little go off in this direction when I thought it went that way, but okay. We may not all be happy with that. But again, it is their version, and Martin, you did this, dude. And again, you did it with Game of Thrones originally. We're not happy with how things went, and now you're not happy again, and you give things away that shouldn't be given away, that hurt us, hurt our enjoyment of your world when we have been here for you from the beginning. So George not only shared his anger in this post, he's pulled key plot points for the next season. And for fans of both the book readers and show, that's a huge blow. Because it's like, I thought we was buddies, okay? Game of Thrones, Ice and Fire together, fire and blood. But you spoiled it because you were angry. And that's just not cool when we, the fans, again, have been here, a lot of us, for years. I have been waiting with everyone for Winds of Winter for what, 12 years now, as he goes out and does all kinds of things, has a great life, and yay for you, cool. But as we sit here waiting, loyal, watching the shows that you give us instead of Winds of Winter, getting our little nibbles, our little crumbs, waiting for our next book that you've been promising us, you get a hair up your tush and decide to ruin things for us. And in my opinion, that's like a total slap in the face to loyal fans that have been dedicated to this world for years. So we all know no show, no movie is ever exactly the same as the book. George is old enough and been around the block enough to know the same. That's just the nature of adaptation. That's why it's adaptation. Okay, so some things work better on the screen, some things do not work on the screen. I did not want to see little Jaharis in the blood and cheese moment. I was thankful they toned that down. Okay. And then you have other things that change from pacing of the show to the drama that needs to be built, or writer strikes and funding, that stuff happens and you have to work with it and go with the flow, or like nothing would be created. I'll be waiting for season 2 of House of the Dragon as long as we'd been waiting for Winds of Winter, if we all did it according to George's plan. So for him to get all panties in a bunch over this is, again, not cool for us, because we're dedicated fans, George, and you're the one who, again, sold the rights. And I love George's work. I do. Um, Song of Ice and Fire is awesome. But that doesn't mean that George isn't above criticism, so I hope nobody's like, girl, you being mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I have been patient, waiting as he Comic-Con goes on vacation, sits in the cabin, slowly writing, okay, enjoying life. Cool. But we've been patiently waiting. And again, you get angry and throw a fit like a spoiled brat and ruin things for your dedicated fans. So with that, I don't think that we deserved to be treated like that. I don't think that the showrunners of the show, I don't think that the big wigs on HBO deserve that. He acted like a child, and it's sad. Well, at this point, we're almost at 20 minutes of me ranting and raving about George R. R. Martin throwing a fit. Okay, so it's like pot and kettle, right? Okay, I'm ranting and raving myself, but I'm not trying to spoil things for everyone else. So, in the end, though, I do think that we will all keep watching. We all enjoy the world of ice and fire. We will keep waiting for the winds and winter, and we will all keep dreaming for a dream of spring, okay? Because we are still loyal fans of a world of ice and fire. And I hope that George remembers who really keeps the fire burning, the passions alight for ice and fire, for all of these characters. I hope he remembers that it is us that support him, even as we again wait for over 10 years for his next work in that one, and enjoy all of the works in between. Or at least I know I have. I hope he remembers this, and I hope he takes heart and learns to suck it up, Buttercup, and work with the writers, work with HBO to make the best adaptation of this world that we all know and love so very much. All right, y'all. You know the routine at this point. If you enjoyed my video, if you would, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps the whole channel out. We are growing. We are growing. Okay. We are here. We are here. But please do share, like, subscribe. Um, if you have any thoughts on my little rant, if you have any ideas on future videos that you would like to see, please make sure you leave a comment below, and I will totally get back to you as soon as I can. And I hope that you enjoy, and y'all have a good night. And again, George, work with us, man. Work with us.